For more than 50 years, the Alberta Association for Community Living has been the difference between hope and despair for thousands of families. Parents who have children with developmental disabilities face the challenge of seeing their son or daughter rejected, excluded, or limited in ways most parents never experience or imagine. Facing these challenges alone can be overwhelming and sometimes impossible. AACL ensures families never have to feel they're alone or that their child has no future.
They've saved his life. They've given him the start to his life. And without them, we wouldn't have been able to do what we've done.
In its commitment to changing lives and changing communities, AACL supports families to ensure their children with developmental disabilities are fully included in community life, and as their children grow, to have every opportunity to pursue their dreams, to know they belong and are appreciated.
First we went to the school and they said no, there was no way to get him into the school because there was no funding. He was sitting in the corner and no talking, no interaction with other kids. And you know, as a parent, you want your kid to be your typical kid. And I got an invite up to Edmonton to a Alberta Community Living meeting, and I got to hear other people tell their stories and how they got their kids into schools and stuff. We called Bruce right away at the Alberta Community Living, and we set up a meeting and lunch with him, and we basically told him we're ready. We want to get him into a typical school, and we'll do anything to do that.
AACL was able to work with Doug and Andy to get Nicholas enrolled into a community school. The result was positive for the whole family.
It was huge.
Yeah.
He was like a different kid.
He went from a school that didn't say one word and didn't even motion any words, and then within a week he started making more sounds. And
I'm just so proud of him. Every day he learns something new.
AACL believes every child should be welcomed and included.
When he was 3.5, we were at a potluck supper for a church, and he had a near drowning accident. The first time I went to the school, I asked them about Kyle coming to kindergarten in the fall, and the principal jumped 2 feet backwards and said, "You can't talk to me about that. You have to talk to the superintendent." So we went and talked to the superintendent, and she said, "We don't take those children." She eventually, after a lot of negotiation, she allowed him to go to kindergarten. He was there 6 days in grade 3, and they kept telling him that he couldn't do grade 3 work, that he had to go to the kindergarten, and so they would pull him out and send him down to the kindergarten. At the end of 6 days, he was calling himself stupid, signing that he was stupid. And I said to my husband, if we leave him there for more time, at the end of 6 months, he's going to be thinking that he's not worth anything. At that point, we phoned AACL and we said, where would be a good school to send him? And they gave us a list of schools that might be open to accepting him and including him. Kyle was on the leadership committee at high school. He'd spent all this time with all these leaders in the school who were all going on to university and college. And so he figured that he would be going on to university or college. And AACL had been working really, really hard to open more places, and so he got into NAIT.
AACL helped Kyle every step of the way through his life. And after he graduated from NAIT, AACL helped Kyle find a job.
I was approached by one of the members of my Rotary Club who was with AACL and asked if I would be interested in having someone come to work for me. It's been fantastic. Kyle is a really good worker. Even in the initial interview, I could see Kyle's personality. It just shines through. Even though he can't communicate verbally, you can just see it.
AACL is there for families from childhood to adulthood, creating possibilities and positive futures.
When I got sick one day, I had a full-time job. I ended up in the hospital due to cancer.
One of Brian's friends approached us at a meeting indicating that Brian wasn't well and he needed help. And he knew that AACL and Calgary Community Living would be able to figure out what needs to be done. So when we got to the hospital and inquired about Brian, he was really quite an anonymous patient. He had already been at 2 different hospitals, and through the transfers, they had lost all of his clothing, his identification. And when he arrived at the last hospital, I truly believe they thought he was a street person, and the quality of care and attention was fairly limited.
Well, he was getting advice from the hospital system that probably the best place would be a nursing home, and that it would be a good idea to give up his apartment. And he had taken many years being on a waiting list to find his little bachelor apartment with Calgary Housing.
They thought I was going to lose my home, everything that I had at home. I told him no. I said I want to fight it through, I want to get back on my feet.
When Brian had nowhere to turn, AACL helped him regain his life and his home and find a job.
You give a person with a developmental disability an opportunity, look out. The benefits are huge, because all I've heard about is his ability. You know, there's certain things he can't do. Well, there's certain things all of us can't do. So they've just found out what he can do, and he's doing a great job.
AACL can be the difference between a life lost and hope restored. AACL is changing lives and changing communities every day for thousands of families. But this would not be possible without your ongoing support.
I would give anything today, yesterday, and tomorrow to say thank you.
No one that hasn't lived it, I don't think, can really truly understand the gift that AACL gives people every single day of the year. They change lives, not just my son's, not just mine, but so many lives.
AACL needs to be able to reach the thousands of families who still find themselves alone and overwhelmed, while continuing to support the thousands who already rely upon us. Your contribution means the life of a child or adult with developmental disabilities and their family will be forever changed. Join us in changing lives and changing communities.